welcome back to another Drugstore Tuesday. Today is gonna be part 2 of last Tuesday where I showed you my favorite eye brushes from the drugstore or affordable brushes. Today I'm gonna share my face brushes, my favorite face brushes. I'll explain to you why I love them so much, and I'll show you. I'll have a demo on every single of these brushes so you can see how I use them, and it will give you some ideas in case you have some of these brushes and how to use them, or if you're new to makeup and you're wondering what kind of brushes I would recommend you to get to create a full face of makeup, then these are some of these brushes. If you missed part 1, please check the info box and check those out, because I mean, we all like different brushes for our makeup, but maybe those brushes will give you some ideas in what to get or how to use them. So, now, if you're interested in knowing what my favorite face brushes are, then just keep watching. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my foundation brush. This is the Physicians Formula Kabuki. I got this at Ulta for about $3, and then when I looked it up online, I found I think one website that still carries this, but I think it's worth getting it. It has very short bristles and it gives me a lot of coverage. So even if I'm gonna get a BB cream that it doesn't have a lot of coverage, when I apply it with this, it gives me even more. It applies my foundation or BB cream very evenly, and I love this because if I decide to use any kind of mineral foundation, powder foundation, I can still use it with this and it will give me great coverage. I love this. The only thing that I should say, it's kind of hard to clean, but other than that, as far as makeup application, it works amazingly. And as I mentioned before, I haven't found anything that is similar to this at the drugstore from other brands. Brush is something that I use it for different things, and honestly I didn't think that I was gonna love it as much as I do. This is the e.l.f. Kabuki face brush. This is amazing. I use it for powder. That's the basic thing that I use this for, and it gives me not a light coverage. If I'm going to use some kind of color powder, it doesn't give me full coverage. It gives me something in the middle that looks very natural. So it is kind of dense, but at the same time it has some give, so it's not, you know, as dense as the Physicians Formula one, which, you know, it can be, you can compare it side by side, you can tell that. But and also this one has longer bristles, so of course it's gonna give you less coverage than the Physicians Formula one. I haven't tried this with, you know, any kind of liquid foundation, but you know, I love to use this with powder, and I think that's how it works for me. I also love to use this for warming up my face. I think it's one of those brushes that it helps me not to be too precise with my bronzer, so it needs to be something that is more, I don't know, warm and just for bronzing purposes and not contouring. So I love this. If I wanted, and if I didn't have any other brush, I could use this for blush as well, but I rather, you know, my favorite thing to do with this brush is apply powder and bronze my face. Those are the two things that I use this brush for every single day. Now, if I want best coverage out of powder foundation, I have powder foundation routine. If you want to check it out, I'll leave that in the description box. But basically, if I want a lot of coverage and still that it doesn't look cakey, I would use the e.l.f. powder brush. This is amazing. It's cut straight, so you would think, why wouldn't you use the Physicians Formula one? This one, it works very well for the mineral foundation, but when it's something more of a compact kind of powder, I think that this works better because it has longer bristles, gets more space of on your skin, and at the same time it gives you good coverage. So this one, if you need more coverage with a powder foundation, or if you want just the best coverage on top of your foundation, you're gonna apply any kind of powder, this is amazing for more coverage. If I want to apply more coverage but just to a specific part of my face, I would use the Real Techniques buffing brush. I love to use this on my chin area or on my forehead if I want to hide something and I don't want to use, you know, a full coverage effect with this powder. This is more for whenever I want to hide something. You can use this for foundation, you can use this for blush. I mean, it has a lot of uses, but I love to use this for that purpose. If I want more of a medium kind of coverage on my powder, or if I'm trying to hide a blemish or something, I always go back to my powder and just go on top of that because it never looks cakey and it gives me more coverage than maybe just applying it with the e.l.f. Kabuki brush. Now, when I'm going to use my my e.l.f. HD powder or my Tarte Smooth Operator, I don't like to use any of these brushes. If I can avoid them, I will. I mean, if I don't have this one clean, I usually go back to those. But this is the Real Techniques blush brush, and this is amazing for applying those kind of white powders all over your face, because it will take, you know, just the tiniest amount and it's gonna blend it all over your skin without giving you a lot of coverage. So if I'm gonna use a white powder, it's not gonna give me coverage. So why would I apply it with this e.l.f. one, or why would I apply it with this Real Techniques one? And with this one, I feel like I can still see the white powder, so I always go back to my blush brush. I can't use this for blush because it's too big and it goes all over the place. I could use this for blending, yes, I could do that, but what I love to use this brush for is just applying some kind of white powder all over my skin. Now moving on to cream blushes, I have two brushes that I use every single time I apply a cream blush, and this is the e.l.f. small stipple brush. I know a lot of people talk about this brush, so I'm not gonna go too much in detail about this, but basically I love this to apply the color whatever I want because it's small. There are other kind of stipple brushes that are bigger, but this one is, you know, the perfect size to apply the blush wherever I need it. And then I usually go with the Expert Face Brush by Real Techniques, and then I kind of blend it down, and that way, you know, it kind of blends with my bronzer, and at the same time it creates a more natural effect. I love this brush. I mean, a lot of people use this for foundation. If I compare with my Physicians Formula one, I mean, you can see how different they are, and I feel like with the Physicians Formula one, it gives me more coverage, and it, you know, it has a lot of space. I mean, it takes more face space than this one. I feel like I did with this, I have to, you know, go several times on my foundation and kind of blend it, and this, you know, it's a lot of work for me anyways. I know a lot of people love it, so I love to apply the blush with this, or if I want to blend it, this is what I blend it with. I think that these two brushes are a perfect combination for my face type, and I love them. I use them every single time I use any kind of cream blush. Then if I'm gonna use any kind of powder brush, I always go back to my Real Techniques, and this is the cheek brush. This is the blush brush, and this is the cheek brush. You can see, I mean, you can tell the difference. This is huge. The cheek brush is more precise, and it goes directly where I want to apply the color. I love this. It comes in the kit NYX Picks, and if you want a recommendation from any of the Real Techniques sets, if you can still find this set, get it. I'm gonna leave a link, of course. I think I saw it at Target online. I didn't see it at Target stores, but I think I saw it at Target online. I'll link it in the description box. But basically this, it goes precisely where I want it, and then if I want to blend because I took too much product, then I can go with the tips and just blend it. This is amazing. I can also set my under eye area with this. I love this brush. Just, I can't live without it. This brush I need to get more, and I think it comes on a kit, and you know, that's why I didn't get it, even though I love the other brushes that come in that kit. I feel like this is the one that I use the most for different things. I mean, I use this buffing brush for, you know, other purposes, but this one has like 2 or 3 purposes that I use this for. Number one is for contouring. It's a contour brush, so it gives me precision. It's really small. It's tapered, so I don't get too much product. It just gets to the tips of this brush, and I love it for that reason. It gives me a lot of definition to my face, and you know, it doesn't take too much product that it's gonna make it, you know, extra dark for my skin tone. Now, I love to use this for my highlighter as well. I have a fan brush by Sonia Kashak, and I like it, I use it, but this is my favorite brush for applying highlight. I feel like it applies it in a better way, that it doesn't look that, okay, you have highlighter. It's very subtle, so I do love this. I also love to set my under eye area with this. 3 different uses that I give to this brush, and honestly, I think it's amazing. I can't contour with any other brush. Like the face brush, the Expert Face Brush, you know, it's too dense, so it will apply a lot of product. This one is too big. This one is too round. I mean, this is the perfect size for my face. And finally, when I'm done with my makeup and I want to blend everything, this is the one that I use. This is the Duo Fiber by Real Techniques. It comes in the same set that I talk about with my cheek brush. This is amazing since it's a dual fiber and it has, you know, longer and shorter bristles. You can blend everything on your skin really well, and it doesn't seem like it's sitting on top of your skin, but it blends into your skin and your makeup becomes part of your face, if you will. I can also apply the white powder like I did with this blush brush by Real Techniques. I guess they serve the same purpose as far as that, but honestly I would recommend them both. Now finally, the last brush that I kind of mentioned on my last video is my concealer brush. This is the Deluxe Crease brush, and I love this for concealer because it's very dense. I can just get the most coverage with this concealer, and I can blend it with just the tips of this brush. Now, I have a concealer routine where I showed you the Sigma Precision Angle P84, so I will leave that in the description box so you can see how I use this one. I use pretty much the same way the Deluxe Crease brush, but I feel like the Sigma one, it gives me a little bit more coverage, so I would actually recommend it too. I know it's not low cost, and I know you can find it online only, but I mean, I love those two brushes for concealers, and so I thought I should mention them both. Anyways, those are the brushes that I use every single day that I would recommend you if you are new to makeup, if I would recommend you if you have them in your collection and you haven't been using them in this way. Give it a try, see if it works for you. If I need to try a brush from the drugstore that you think it's amazing and I didn't mention it here, please leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to know more about that brush. Try it. I have another set that I got from Crown Brushes, well, from Haute Look, so I will probably be doing that sometime soon, a review on that. I have to, you know, play with it a little bit more, but I love to try brushes. I know what it works for me, so it's kind of really fun to play with brushes for me anyway. So anyways, if you enjoyed this little series, leave it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video.